Welcome to the Where's Your Money podcast. No bullshit, no excuses, just straightforward financial strategies. I'm Andy, a proud Coast Guard veteran who took control of my financial future and stepped away from the traditional path at 34 years old. Each week we challenge financial norms and share practical strategies and wisdom to help you break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle and achieve financial independence. If you are tired of working hard yet feeling like you're stuck in the same place and you are ready to break free from the financial limitations holding you back, then don't just sit there. Take action. Subscribe to my channel because your financial transformation begins now. Let's get it. Hey everyone, I'm Andy and welcome to the first ever episode of the Where's Your Money podcast. I remember the days when my alarm clock would jolt me awake. Sometimes at 2 a.m., sometimes at 4 a.m. It really depended on the day and whether or not I was deployed. Each ring signaled another long day ahead. And back then, I often daydreamed about achieving financial independence to the point where it consumed my thoughts, pondering if there was more to life than just working. Perhaps you're feeling the same way that I did. Caught in a cycle that seems unbreakable, craving for something more fulfilling. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into how you can break free from the conventional 9-to-5 routine and carve out a path toward financial independence as well. But have you ever wondered what it truly takes to escape the grind and design a life on your own terms? Let's explore that together as we talk about the 5-step framework that I personally used and developed to guide you toward the same financial freedom. I want to start by asking you a few questions though. How much longer are you willing to trade your life for a paycheck? How many more of your child's birthdays or holidays are you willing to miss? How many more hours will you give to a job that would replace you in less than a week without hesitation? For most people, that is their reality. Wake up, go to work, get paid just enough to survive, and repeat until retirement. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 64% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. The average American household carries over $8,000 in credit card debt. And the average person will spend over 100,000 hours working in their lifetime. That's almost 50% of your life, if not more. I refuse to be a part of these statistics, though. By age 34, I had reached financial freedom, not by grinding for decades, but by following a smarter path, one rooted in time-tested financial principles found in the Bible, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Book of Job. These books contain wisdom that goes beyond faith, offering insights into money, work, and life. But I want to be really clear because I don't want to scare anyone off. This is not a religious podcast. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to tell you to pray your way to wealth. I don't believe in that garbage. I believe in hard work. And the books that I just gave you, they provide wisdom that will help guide your life to success, no matter what you're doing. Whether that be, financial, whether that be money, whether that be relationships, whether that be life, whatever it is you're doing, those books have great wisdom that apply to 99% of Americans. Before I found my path to financial freedom, I was stuck in the cycle that so many people follow. Go to school, get a good job, save a little money, and then we're going to hope for the best. But life had other plans for me. I dropped out of college feeling lost and unsure of my direction. With no clear path forward, I had to make a bold decision. I joined the military, and it was a scary step, but it was absolutely necessary. Deep down, I had always felt a call to serve, a desire to help people, to save lives. More than that, I really needed structure, discipline, and a sense of purpose, things that the military provided in abundance. It gave me the foundation I had been missing, shaping me into the person that I had to become. Even though the military had given me structure and stability, I knew deep down that it wasn't my forever. I had joined with a plan to use it as a stepping stone, build savings, and eventually move on. But life had a way of pulling me into comfort. The steady paycheck, I was making like $8,000 a month. The sense of security, I had some of the best benefits that anyone could even imagine of. It made it almost impossible to think about leaving. I was stuck in a cycle of stability, but at the same time, I felt like I was slowly losing myself. Then life hit me in a way that I never saw coming. My wife at the time became very sick, and eventually she passed away. The loss was devastating. It felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. I was so lost. I was just trying to make sense of the world, trying to find meaning once again. I eventually remarried, and I met someone amazing, someone who saw life differently. She wasn't just dreaming, she was building. She wanted to own her own businesses just like I did. She wanted to create something bigger than herself just like I did. Her drive, her ambition, it woke something up in me. She believed in me even more than I believed in myself. And that belief gave me the courage to take a leap. Leaving the military was terrifying, but for the first time, it felt like the right move. Standing at the crossroads of my life, I had a realization that shook me to my core. Life is so short. I had been grinding day in and day out, convinced that I was doing what I was supposed to do. But when I truly faced my own mortality, it scared me. What if I got sick? What if I got injured and could no longer work? What would happen to my family? What would happen to my kids who were growing up so fast? And I was barely even there. I had built a life where everything depended on my ability to show up and trade my time for money. And that terrified me, as it should terrify you. That fear of being dependent on a system, fear of failing my kids, fear of losing the ability to provide became my catalyst for change. I knew I couldn't keep living like this. I wanted security not just for myself, but for my family. I needed to build something that didn't rely on me punching into a clock every day. If something happened to me, my kids still needed to be taken care of. I needed passive income streams, a way to support them whether I was physically working or not. At that moment, everything changed. Everything clicked. Leaving the military wasn't just about moving on. It was about breaking free. It was about building a life where my family's future wasn't tied to a paycheck, wasn't tied to my ability of working. Financial freedom wasn't just an option anymore, it was a necessity. So how did I do it? How did I go from feeling stuck in the rat race to achieving true financial freedom? Let me walk you through the exact 5 steps that changed everything for me. These aren't just theories or ideas. I lived them. I followed them step by step. I didn't skip steps, I followed them step by step. And they gave me the power to break free from the 9-to-5 grind and take full control of my financial future. And here's the thing, you can do the same. If you commit to these steps, you stay disciplined, you take action, you can rewrite your financial story just like I did. So let's get into it. Step number 1, your starter fund, your starter emergency fund. Right? The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. That's from Proverbs 21:20. For most people, they're wasting their money on things they don't need. If you're like most people, you're wasting your money on things you don't need. You spend on the latest sneakers, upgrading their phones when their current ones work just fine, eating out multiple times a week instead of cooking at home, and then, what? An emergency hits, and they panic. A flat tire, a broken water heater, a trip to the ER. Suddenly they're scrambling, reaching for a credit card or borrowing money because they have nothing saved. That's exactly what Proverbs is warning us about. The wise store up, but fools gulp theirs down. Too many of us are living paycheck to paycheck, spending recklessly, and hoping nothing goes wrong. But something will go wrong. That's life. The question is, will you be ready? Life doesn't wait for you to get your finances in order. Emergencies don't give you a heads up. They don't give you a phone call like, hey, your car's about to break down. An unexpected bill will come up. Something will go wrong. It's just a matter of when. And when it does, you'll either have a plan or you'll be scrambling. That's why you need the first $1,000 emergency fund, making sure that when life does happen, that you're not just stuck borrowing money, swiping credit cards, or stressing how you're going to make it work. That $1,000 is your first line of defense. It's not for vacations, shopping, or anything else. It's for the unexpected, because trust me, the unexpected is going to come. It's just a matter of when. So you need to save up $1,000 in your starter emergency fund so that you can prevent going back into debt. Prevent borrowing money. Step number 2, debt relief, which is where we're going to pay off your debts in what we call the snowball method. Okay, here's the truth. Owning money keeps you trapped. Whether it's credit cards, car loans, student loans, debt is like a weight that slows you down, keeping you stuck in the cycle of working just to make payments. If you're constantly paying someone else, how are you ever supposed to get ahead? Proverbs 22:7 lays it out clearly. The borrower is slave to the lender, and that's exactly how it feels. You don't own your paycheck. Your debt's due. Every month that hard-earned money isn't yours. It goes straight to someone else before you even get a chance to use it to build your future. That's why paying off debt has to be a priority. You have to take control back. And the way to do it, the debt snowball method. Start small, build momentum. I always tell people this isn't about math, okay? Because I know you're all thinking, oh, well, I want to knock out the higher interest rates one first. You're an idiot, okay? If your way worked, you wouldn't be in debt. If your way worked, you'd be able to pay off your credit cards. Your way sucks. Listen to what I'm telling you. It's not about math. If it were just about numbers, we'd all make perfect financial decisions. But this is about behavior. This is about mindset. This is about keeping yourself motivated enough to actually follow through. That's why the smallest to largest debt payoff method works. Here's how it goes. List all your debts from smallest to largest. Ignore interest rates. Then we're going to pay the minimums on all of your debts, except for the one that is smallest. That smallest debt, we're going to attack it with everything we've got. We're going to throw all extra money at it until it's gone. Once that first debt is wiped out, take that payment and roll it into the next debt. And you're going to repeat that process, building speed like a snowball rolling downhill. And let me tell you, that first win, that moment when you wipe away your first debt completely, it's like a shot of adrenaline. You realize you can do this. You are making progress. And each time you knock out another debt, you build confidence, energy, focus. That's what keeps you moving. Pitbull says it the best. Short steps, long vision. Short steps, long vision. Each small step brings you closer to the bigger goal. You don't get out of debt overnight, but every single move forward matters. When you start knocking out these debts, something amazing happens. You start feeling free. You no longer are tied down. You no longer stress about every single bill coming in. And most importantly, you no longer work just to pay off the past. You're working to build your future. This step is non-negotiable. You can't start investing or create wealth while debt is still weighing you down. You need to get rid of it. Take back control. Because once you do, you'll finally be in a position to move forward and stay forward. But in order to stay forward, you need to build on step 3. Build your full emergency fund now, right? Step 1 was just getting you started so that you could focus on paying off debt. And if an emergency arose, you'd be able to cover the emergency without having to reuse the credit card that you just paid off. But now we need to build on that one step further. We need to build the full funded emergency fund. No one ever made life-changing decisions while living in fear. And for most people, that fear comes from not having a financial cushion. It's that constant stress of waiting for the next unexpected expense, right? The car breaking down, the appliance stops working, the emergency that you never saw coming. Without a plan, those moments leave you scrambling, wiping out what little progress you have made. Proverbs 27:12 says, "The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty." That's exactly what this step is about. Taking refuge by building a full emergency fund. It's not just about surviving the bad days, it's about setting yourself up to thrive. You can't chase big opportunities or make confident decisions if you're constantly worried about what will happen if life throws you a curveball. Once you've got your starter emergency fund in place and your debts are paid off, it's time to build something bigger. A full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, is what gives you the freedom to take risks, make bold moves, and think long term. For me, that number was anywhere between $15,000 and $30,000 at the time. It wasn't about picking an exact number. It was about knowing that no matter what happened, I'd have a safety net strong enough to keep me moving forward. This is where your financial journey shifts, from survival to opportunity. When you've got a fully funded emergency fund, you are no longer held back by fear. You no longer play defense, just hoping to make it through to the next crisis. Instead, you're in a position to take calculated risks, pursue new opportunities, and start building real financial security. Without it, every decision will always feel risky. With it, you've got the foundation to build something bigger, and that's where the real progress begins. Before we move on to steps 4 and 5, you must understand something, okay? Building a solid financial foundation is a requirement. It's an essential before pursuing advanced financial goals like starting a business or investing in real estate. I want you to think of it like this. You wouldn't build a house without a strong foundation, right? Without it, the whole structure could collapse under pressure. Similarly, in your financial life, skipping the basics like saving and managing debt can leave you vulnerable when challenges arise. Have you ever seen someone at the gym with a massive upper body but tiny little legs? Neglecting workouts with your legs leads to an unbalanced physique and potential injuries. In the same vein, if you focus only on flashy financial moves without establishing a solid base, you're setting yourself up for instability and stepbacks. It's not a question. That's a guarantee, okay? If you're focused on buying new cars, having a new phone, having new clothes, getting the new purse, getting your nails done, having your hair done, and you don't even have the basic financial security, you're already doomed. You're already doomed. You must tackle the fundamentals. Build that emergency fund, pay off that debt, and save your money consistently so you can create a sturdy platform. This not only helps you handle unexpected expenses, but it also gives you the confidence to pursue bigger financial goals. Without this groundwork, jumping into business ventures or investments just becomes a lot more riskier and more intimidating. Again, you will not make life-changing decisions while living in fear. It just doesn't happen. Steps 1 to 3 are the most important and they take the longest. Consistency and discipline are an absolute must. It's non-negotiable. Without it, you're honest, you're doomed. You're done. It's over. Don't even waste your time. So learn patience because this journey is not for the weak. Now, step 4, building your investing fund, okay? This is huge. Now we're getting into the part that's going to move you closer to real, true financial freedom. Okay? And like we said, the foundation must be laid. Okay? Put in the work, pay off your debt, build your emergency fund. You've already set yourself up for success. And now it's time to start thinking bigger. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, "Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land." What's that saying? It's a clear message. Diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Instead, start setting aside money now so when the right opportunity arises, you're ready to move. For me, this meant setting aside 15% of my take-home pay into an investing fund. This wasn't about chasing the latest trend or gambling on risky investments. It was about discipline and consistency. I didn't always know what opportunity would come up in my way, right? But I knew that when that time came, I better be fucking prepared. I better be fucking ready. I didn't want to be scrambling to find the money when the right investment showed up. I didn't want to have to turn and ask people for donations so that I could make an investment, right? I don't want to have to call a bank and say, oh, please, can you drop the interest rate on this loan? No, fuck that. Get your money right. Save that money. Get yourself ready. So when that time comes, you're ready. You're ready to move. Right? This fund wasn't just savings. It's your ticket to opportunity. I don't care whether it's real estate, starting a business, some other investment that generates passive income. That's the key. Generates passive income. Having this money set aside means that you can take action without hesitation. Because without it, I would have been stuck watching opportunities pass me by. Right? Just like you. Opportunities come up, but you're just not financially in the right spot. You can't take it. You never want to be in a situation where you're not financially ready to take a leap. Having this fund gives you the freedom to think long term. It allows you to take calculated risks, knowing that you have capital to back it up, right? More importantly, it's the foundation for financial independence, which leads us to our next step, breaking free from the 9-to-5 grind, wealth creation, actually taking that money and investing it in cash flowing assets. This is the moment everything you've worked for leads up to wealth creation. Now you've got your emergency fund, you've eliminated your debt, you started your investing fund. Now it's time to shift gears and make that money work for you. But I want to be really clear, okay? It's not just stacking up cash so that you have it. It's not about showing it off. It's about building something bigger than yourself. Proverbs 13:11 says, "Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow." That's the key. Slow, steady, intentional growth. The goal isn't just to save money here, okay? We're past that. Once you have a fully funded emergency fund, we're not just saving money, right? This extra additional saved money is to invest in assets that create passive income, okay? Whether it's real estate, starting businesses, or other investments, the key is to make sure that that money is working for you instead of you always working for the money. That's how you build long-term financial freedom. Your passive income must exceed your living expenses to reach true financial freedom. Okay? When I bought my first cash flowing asset, everything changed. I was no longer reliant on a paycheck. I wasn't having to trade my time for money. I had the income coming in whether I was physically there working or not. And that shift in mindset, that is what true freedom looks like. I want to make this last thing clear, okay? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, okay? This is something that could potentially even take you years to accomplish, and I know that sounds super unmotivating, but Proverbs warns us that fast money doesn't last. It might be tempting to chase after a shortcut, but real, genuine wealth is built over time with smart, consistent decisions. That's how you create sustainable financial freedom. And once I embraced that truth, I stopped looking for quick wins and I started focusing on the long game. My assets started working for me, and that's when everything changed, because in the end, it wasn't about getting rich fast. It was about building something that would take care of me and my family for life. So that's it. That's the 5 steps to breaking free from the 9-to-5 grind and setting yourself up for true financial freedom. But listen, again, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this, okay? These steps have to be followed in order. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot skip around, you cannot take shortcuts, or try to jump ahead. Each of these steps builds upon the last. So if you try to rush this process, I'm telling you right now, you are setting yourself up for failure. Start with your emergency fund, okay? Your starter emergency fund, $1,000. This gives you that cushion, right? So that when you're paying off your debt in step 2, if something comes up, you're able to pay off that emergency expense without having to go back into debt. Then you build after your debt is fully paid off, minus a home. If you have a home mortgage, I'm not including a home mortgage in this, okay? Once that debt is fully paid off, now it's time to move into that full safety net. Okay? So that way, once you have your full safety net, you're now able to take a risk on a business endeavor without feeling like you have to earn a paycheck. This is a process, okay? This is a genuine process. One that's going to require patience, discipline, and commitment. But if you stick to it step by step, I promise you, you will build that foundation strong enough to carry you to financial freedom. It's a mental game, okay? Not physical. It's mental. It's all in your head, okay? When you see that new iPhone, you got to fucking say, no way, okay? You walk into a gas station, there's no more just buying snacks, right? Come fucking prepared. Meal prep. Do something. Don't go in and buy a pizza every day or go to McDonald's on a daily because you need lunch. Plan that shit. You know you need lunch for work. Buy food, make it, prepare it, get it ready. Stop being lazy. Okay? You don't need to order a sub every single day. You don't need the newest pair of sneakers. You don't need the newest pair of clothes. You don't need that new car, I promise you. Your old car works just fucking fine. Stop being greedy. Stop wanting things now. Take a step back. You don't need it. Focus on the foundation, okay? Just knowing these steps isn't enough. A framework is great, right? But without a solid plan to execute that framework, those steps will feel overwhelming or disconnected, and that's where creating a budget comes in. Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." A budget is what turns your plans into action. It keeps you focused and on track, making sure you actually make progress towards your goals. And in the next episode of the Where's Your Money podcast, we're going to break down exactly how to build a budget that works just for you. Because without a budget, again, those 5 steps become just ideas. But with a budget, they become your roadmap to financial success. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you subscribed, and I hope you'll catch me next time. Have an amazing day.